Deborah Ashell is stabbed to death in a brutal, bloody and barbaric bedroom butchery. Suspects include her husband, their 2 extramarital sex buddies, and the son that no one likes. But an earth-shattering discovery in Deborah's autopsy blows the case wide open. At the time of her fatal stabbing, she was 1 month pregnant.
Damn it if this case didn't have more twists and turns than Stephen Hawking's spine post-decomp.
So now we had the perp on 2 counts of murder.
No, that's not the way that works. No.
Actually, that's true. The best we could hope for in this state is an additional charge of manslaughter. Although the name is pretty misleading in this case. It should actually be fetus slaughter for a fetality.
Then the pregnancy leaked. And I'm not talking about amniotic fluid here. I mean somehow the fact of Deborah's pregnancy leaked to the press. Someone in the ME's office can't keep their big mouth shut, and then we catch all the heat. Public pressure to make an arrest was bad before, but now it was insufferable. Every article you read, make an arrest, make an arrest. Private pressure was even worse. Make an arrest and have it be the correct arrest with plentiful evidence confirming such, or lose your jobs and everything you hold dear. Make an arrest and have it be the correct arrest. I don't need to say it twice.
Once we knew that Deborah died pregnant, we examined the abdominal stabbing pattern more closely. Building a case against a suspect is all about connecting the dots. Well, sometimes that's not even a metaphor.
When connected, the 57 stab wounds formed the unmistakable image of a baby holding a piece of toast bearing the face of Jesus Christ.
Pretty sure the Jesus thing was just pareidolia, but regardless, this was huge. The killer knew she was pregnant and probably wasn't too happy about that fact. I get that. Before I was married, I preferred my women sterile and with toned abs.
And who would be most jealous of a new baby in the house? The previous baby of the house.
The investigation turns its crosshairs on 5-year-old Millicent Ashell, now believing the intended target of the crime was Millicent's unborn kin. Sibling rivalry in the form of a preemptive strike.
She was desperate for her mother's affections. We saw it in the videos. Clearly, she didn't realise that killing her sibling's fetus in such a manner would also result in her mother's death, the source of those affections. But in the heat of murder, the mind makes inexplicable leaps of logic.
In the heat of murder. I think I have a new song.
Talking with friends and family members about Millicent's private life uncovers a disturbing pattern of antisocial behaviour.
Whenever she met new people, she would never look them in the eye. She would always look down at her feet. If you tried to take a toy away from her and she wasn't finished with it, she wouldn't discuss it calmly with you. She'd scream her head off.
In 3 short years, she'd already been to 3 different schools. Prep, preschool and primary. No one could handle her.
Never went out on her own, not to the shops, not to the local bar. Always had her mother with her. As far as anyone knew, she'd never been in a relationship. A loner from birth. What is it, darling?
I found a dead grasshopper and it's dead.
Ugh.
Found dead, she killed it. Insect is your classic gateway murder.
Everything we learned about Millicent made us more and more positive we were on the right track. And speaking of track, it was time to find that missing murder weapon.
The detectives conceive an elaborate sting operation to trick Millicent Ashell into leading them to the implement she used to murder her mother.
Oh, hey there, Millicent. I'm just wondering if I could ask you... Hang on a second. Shh. Oh, what's that, Chief? Oh, you think that's where the murder weapon is hidden? Ah, well, we'll head there right now to look for it. Though it may take us some time as we've got some other murders we're solving today. Oh, sorry, Millicent. We're gonna have to do this later. Here we go. Right on time.
This is such a brilliant idea.
Stop it.
Somehow she spotted it. I started to wonder, has this kid been tracked before?
What is she doing?
Maybe she'll carry it with her to the murder weapon.
God damn it!
Little shit!
There goes another 20 grand bill to Mr. and Mrs. John Q taxpayer, plus GST.
She's making a run for it!
Millicent! Hey! Stop! You're running away from the police!
Millicent leads the detectives on a frenzied foot chase, laughing as only a sadistic, unrepentant killer 5-year-old could. Ultimately, she uses her superior knowledge of the area to evade capture.
Millicent!
Now we know she's guilty, because no one who's innocent would run from the police.
She's got the cuffs!
Give me my cuffs! I paid for those myself!
You know how illegal that is?
Not cool!
But for protocol reasons, we couldn't show that body cam footage to anyone ever. So we needed some hard evidence.
Then, a stroke of luck. All 3 surviving Ashells are spending the afternoon at a local park, leaving the house empty and available for inspection.
On the TV shows, warrants are a big, big deal. But I'll warrant those writers never did any actual detective work, because if they had, they would have detected that warrants are a bit of a hassle, and does anyone really care?
The criminal justice system cares. It cares a great deal. Perhaps Detective Hoggman has heard of it in his travels?
It would take longer to get a warrant than we had time left on the clock. The only thing I would risk losing my job over is saving my job.
The detectives let themselves into the Ashell house and conduct a search of Millicent's bedroom. What they find chills their blood to the bone.
The first thing that hit us was the smell. That unmistakable smell of rotting flesh.
It smells like death.
We turned that room upside down, looking for a body. In the end, we had to attribute it to the half-eaten bucket of KFC on the dresser in the wardrobe. Clearly, grief had impeded Gilbert's passion for cooking.
I am pretty hungry.
Don't.
But Kentucky Fried Chicken isn't the only thing that leaves the detectives licking their fingers.
At first, this appeared to be an innocuous sketch of a human figure. But upon closer inspection, the limbs have been severed from the torso. The cuts are clean and singular, probably from an axe. No blood spray or pooling is evident in the surroundings, so it's most likely this body was moved, possibly after being submerged for a long period of time, which would explain the horrific bloating of the head, hands and feet. And this was just one of hundreds Millicent had drawn, all swollen and mutilated in the same specific manner. A4 size windows into a sick, sick mind.
Face of an angel, soul of my wife.
Every corner of Millicent's lair contained affirmation of her psychological darkness.
So I want to be a police officer. She's been researching us.
That's how she was able to evade us in the park. She learned it from that book.
Enhanced sense of self.
She's the first one there.
No room for a baby in that belly.
God, what a hideous creature.
Does this look like the dog of a happy child?
That's 4 tears.
And quite a face.
Twice as sad as your average sad dog toy.
A horse without a body.
I think I may have found a potential murder weapon.
She's been practicing slicing and dicing.
Feel sick. Where were the parents?
Silica.
Poisonous choice.
You think this was her first attempt? Is that a naked child?
Full backle nudity. Devil.
Nah. She's been trying it out on here. Strangulation.
Oh God, look how loose the neck is. That bear's been tortured.
Just when the detectives are about to leave empty-handed and full-stomached, they literally stumble over the most damning piece of evidence in the entire case.
Get out of here. Oh, hello.
My God. Don't touch it, Math.
Look, it's an M.
Math.
No, Millicent. Oh, there goes my gun. Jet. Can't forget that again.
One t-shirt, size 6, stained with dried blood. Same shirt she was wearing the night of. We had the lab do a rush job on the DNA since we only had 8 hours left to solve this case and save our jobs. It came back positive for Deborah Ashell.
Put on your paper hats, boys and girls, because it's arrest the guilty party time.
5 years ago, one of our traffic cops allowed a group of rowdy young teenagers to steal his vehicle, his radio, and his pants. He walked 100 kilometres back to the station in broad daylight with his genitals exposed. It was witnessed by over 1,000 people. For some reason, he chose to maintain the integrity of the rest of his uniform instead of using it to cover his privates, and he stayed on the main roads. I thought that was an incident from which the police department could never recover. Had I known then what I know now, I would have pinned a medal on that man.
The following has been collated from eyewitness smartphone footage and will disturb some or all viewers.
Millicent Ashell, you're under arrest for the murder of Deborah Ashell. What's the meaning of this? I thought I was pretty clear just now, ma'am.
We found the blood, Millicent.
What blood? What are you talking about?
That's police business.
Gilbert, before you cause a scene, just know that we saved your life today. I wasn't going to kill my dad. Oh, bullshit, muffin boy.
You're lucky we don't arrest you too. You probably indoctrinated your sister into the same sick cult. And that's why she carved your mum up like a deli chicken.
How dare you come here and spout this nonsense?
Could everyone please relax? I mean, who died?
Shit's a funeral.
Well, this is what happens when you don't invite everyone.
Cuff her, Math. You're not taking her. We have a job to do, ma'am. For your own sake, do not interfere.
Her wrists are too small for these cuffs.
Stop it, I don't want to wear those.
She's resisting.
Has anyone got any cable ties?
Oh, is this where our taxpayer dollars are going?
Yeah, it is actually. And you know what? You should be down on your knees thanking us. Because you missed it, okay? You all missed it. It was staring you right in your big, dumb, rich faces. And you were too blind to see it.
Unless one of you is the author of this mysterious note? Anyone? No?
Still too scared to reveal yourself, huh? Well, guess what? We don't need your stupid eyewitness testimony because we found all the evidence required. So you can just keep on hiding, coward.
Also, stop calling us pigs. Get it on iTunes.
This is absurd. You imbeciles are not taking my granddaughter.
Attempted assault of a police officer.
Help! Breaking my arm.
Everyone on the ground now!
You little f***er! Don't look at me! Look at the ground! Eyes on the ground! Fuck!
He was fine. The bullets went straight through, in and out clean. And here's the thing. He was booked in for a heart transplant a few weeks from that date anyway. All they did was move up his appointment. In the end, it was a blessing. If I hadn't shot him in that heart, it may very well have failed naturally before he got the new one. But recently, I've heard he's been doing the rounds, delivering sermons, crediting God for his survival. Like I don't exist.
Who has their phone out taking videos during a funeral? Talk about disrespectful.
In the final episode of UnTrue Crime, Spoink and Hoggman will finally decide which of their top 17 suspects is Deborah Ashell's killer.
I think we just pulled it out of a hat.
The only question is, will it be the right one? Or will evil, as is typical, prevail?